YouTube. But I think because I send an email, most kids will, at least worst case scenario, get on their emails and then they'll to send me something, and then they'll see that I have that there. So is this Gisela without an L? I think Gisela just logged on without an L. I don't think I haven't muted anybody yet, so she can respond. Gisela, can you hear? No, we don't make fun of students.
I make fun of students all the time. She's just sitting there giggling.
Oh, user's off now.
Yeah, for the next class, tell them that they need to sign in using their Google account. Because I think that'll probably set them up with the username.
I don't know if I'm not allowed to do this or not, but pretty much I have my iPad hooked up to this, so I've got a really cool way to share a screen and work through problems, but I plan on using this as more like a tutoring time. So if kids have individual questions, they can raise their hand and then I can answer their questions so everybody can see them.
Yeah, and then one other thing is even after the hour's over, we do the next class, I can do some individual help after the 2 hours to give them a little one-on-one guidance. I've used the Google Meets, and that works pretty well too.
Yeah, man, I'll be honest, this has been chaotic so far.
For me, it's easy.
Yeah.
Because I don't have as much.
Hey, Faisal, can you speak on here? And Gisela, I think I heard somebody.
Hello, hello.
Hey, yes.
And user. Who's your user?
That's Gisela and Faisal. Hey guys.
The gaming headset going.
Yes, the gaming headset.
Watch him.
Hey, you guys are on here at the moment, so what I'm doing is I told students to log on to YouTube. I told them that I'd be on YouTube, so I have my YouTube page pulled up here, and I'm going to be redirecting students back over to Zoom as they log on to YouTube, if they log on to YouTube. So while you're waiting, though, pretty much I can just answer any questions that you guys have on like any homeworks.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we doing this?
Did you hang up the drawing that I gave you?
The drawing is still on my desk at school.
Jasia, why are you hiding?
Jasia. Who? Wait, Eva Clark. Is that Isabella?
Yeah, she's probably using her mom's account.
Oh, okay. Hi, Isabella. Hi, Rashid.
Hi. I didn't see your here.
It's good to talk to all of you guys, even though if everybody's talking at once, it's going to go crazy, I think.
Oh, is there a way to do a hand raise or?
Yeah, there definitely is. I'm going to mute everybody in just a second. But while people are waiting around, at least they can be amused while we're talking, or they can talk. Okay.
Yeah, Harley, come on.
All right, let me, you guys experiment with this. I'm going to mute everybody. So everybody is muted now. Well, not yet. Now everybody's muted. Not even Mr. John can talk. But under participants, like if you go to the bottom of your screen and click participants, you are able to raise your hand on that. So raise your hand. And if somebody raises their hand, I'm going to unmute them. Let's see who can be first. Oh, Mr. Norland first. Unmute Mr. Norland. Mr. Norland.
Yay.
Yes. Man, he's faster than all you guys. The old timer. Hey, how'd you do that?
Just press the unmute button.
Hold on, let me try this one more time. Mute all. Oh, here we go. All right, now Faisal, try that. You jerk. Go ahead. See what you got. That's right. You can't do it anymore. You better raise your hand. Let's see you raise your hand, Faisal. No, Mr. Norland. I want Faisal to raise his hand. Lower hand. Vinay's on. Cool. Nobody's raising their hands. Again, if you go to the bottom of your screen, it says manage participants there, and you are able to raise your hand from there. Oh, Mr. Norland again. Rashid. What a beast. Rashid. Unmute Rashid. Rashid, can you explain to everybody how you did that?
You go down at the right where it says mute me and lower hand, and no, not lower. It will say raise hand, and when you finish, you press this.
Yes, that's all it is. It's that simple. That's how we're going to keep everybody from talking over each other, and I'll be able to call on individual people like Ali. So I'm going to go ahead and mute Rashid. So mute all. And then let's go to Ali and unmute. Ali, how's it going?
Good.
Good, that worked out well. This is working out well. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody again, and we're just going to wait for people to log on. Let's give it another, well, I mean, class hasn't even started, so let's give it 6 minutes. So if you guys need to use the restroom, or maybe you're at home, you can even get a coffee. You can drink coffee in class. It's great. You guys can have a break. We're going to come back at 10:10, and hopefully we'll have more people logged on. Also, I need to respond to some people's emails who are trying to figure out what's going on. So Vinay, I've got, let's see. Good, it looks like more people are on class. Mr. Norland likes to raise his hand. Okay. This is great, guys. This is awesome. Well, so first of all, I'm hoping, well, yeah, no, like I said, I'll wait until 10:10. At 10:10, I'll start explaining some stuff. So like I said to people, I've already said this, anybody who just logged on, I'm going to wait until 10:10 to give everybody a chance to log on because it's our first time using this. And when you, so at 10:10, I'm going to actually start. So if you need to take a restroom break or anything like that, or get a coffee or get a snack or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. See, I got my coffee. Also, look at this new stuff that I've been playing around with. Let's see if I can get this to work. I hope I can. So this should give me access to any worksheet that you guys should have done, which should have been day 4 stuff. So day 4 homework, this is what you guys should have done for homework. And then also, let's see. I'm just playing around with this while people are getting here still. Day 5 homework. So pretty much if you guys have any questions on any of the homeworks, that is what I'm going to be focusing on. Any questions that I can help you guys understand better. So again, 3 minutes until we actually start the lesson.
Thank you.
Mr. Norland, go ahead and tell the kids a story. You got 2 minutes. Go.
I have no story in 2 minutes.
Tell everybody how your time living at home has been.
I've done nothing. It's been 2 weeks of nothing.
Wait, you didn't play like Borderlands or what is it? Whatever 2K, NBA
I
2K.
played a lot of NBA 2K.
There you
That
go.
I did do.
There you go. Okay. Well, we got 1 more minute. I've been doing a lot of nothing also. Kind of a grumpy baby. So we've had a grumpy baby the last few days. Yeah. Had a grumpy baby the last few days, so that's unfortunate. Faisal has a question. Let's test this out. Unmute Faisal. Go ahead, Faisal. Faisal, you look very young.
I know.
Okay. Is that all you wanted to say?
No. Mister, would you give us a schedule for the live stream?
Yeah. Actually, let me write some stuff down real quick. You're asking a great question. Give me just a second. But it reminded me of something that I need to talk about.
If you have a question, raise your hand. What you do is go down to where participants is on the bottom and raise your hand. And then Mr. Carpenter will unmute you. He'll take one question at a time, though.
Yeah. Oops. Okay, so it is 10:10. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go back to muting everybody. So mute all.
Now you can't go to the.
Okay, so everybody, everybody's been muted. This is a power that I should never have. This is bad. So as Mr. John said, so to keep people from talking over the top of each other, I've entirely muted everybody, I believe. Let me go ahead and redo that just to make sure. So everybody should be muted. Nobody can speak. Nobody can unmute themselves. But if you have a specific question, if you're looking at your screen and you go to your screen and then down toward the bottom of it, it'll say participants. And you click that, it'll bring up another window that actually has raise your hand there. So Mr. John is raising his hand. He's showing off. Let's see if anybody else can do it real quick. Yep, Vinay's got it. Yep, you guys got it. Okay, so one more time. Perfect, great. So one more time, that's under participants. It's at the very bottom of your screen. You will have a raise hand button there. So when you have a question, you can raise your hand and I will take a question. I'm sure today it's going to be full of questions. So let me start off by asking this. How is online learning going for you guys? And are there any questions you have about the structure of the class that I've set up so far? For example, I've had a lot of people try to submit homeworks to me over email. Do you have any questions about that? Actually, yeah. Do you have any questions about that? What else have people been asking? When is the online learning? What day are we supposed to be on? Stuff like that. Do you guys have any questions? It looks like Faisal still has his hand up. So put your hands down if you don't have a question. There's also a button that says lower hand, like raise hand. If you do have a question, go ahead and put your hand up and I will unmute you. So starting off with Rashid, it looks like. Okay, Rashid, what's your question?
Mister, it's not a question. What Abdullah Sharki, he has a problem with him trying to log in.
Okay, so
He needs a meeting ID.
did he try? Well, so you're talking to Abdullah right now, right?
Yes.
Can you try to explain it to him? Because obviously it didn't block you. So
When he tried it, it says meeting ID or personal link name, and then under that, just not me.
tell him to try to log out and log back in using the exact same link. Okay, thanks. All right, next is Alia. So I'm going to unmute Alia. What question do you have, Alia?
I have a question about the homework. Like after we finish the homework and the attendance, like do we send it to you or?
Yeah, great question. I've had a lot of questions like that. So guys, I only want you sending me the homework if you have a specific question. So pretty much if you're working through like homework day 4 and you get to question 5 and you say, I don't know if I did that right, and you check your answer at the end of the unit where all the solutions are and you got the wrong answer, you can take a picture of that and send it to me and say, hey, this picture, question number 5, I need help on. Can you look at my work? So I'll look at your work if that's the case. But outside of that, the link that I put on class pages that says attendance and homework check, it has one homework question on there for every single day, so that I can see who's actually doing their homework and who's understanding it or not. And then it also just asks some honesty questions, so to hold you guys accountable. Like, did you actually do your homeworks? Did you watch the video? And so I asked those so that at the end of this time, nobody's able to say, I don't get it. And that they also, and then I could look at the data and say, well, you said that you did all your homework and you said you've done everything. So that's pretty much the way I'm checking homework for now. You're also going to have formative assessments and summative assessments, just like a regular class. But to answer your question simply, you do not need to send me a picture of your homework. Did that answer your question? Oops, Alia, you got muted again. Somehow. Alia, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. One more question I think I see from Afaf. So let me mute everybody. And I still got to get used to this stuff, guys. Something just, oh, there we go. I think that works. Yep. Okay, Afaf, unmute. Okay, what's your question, Afaf? Hello? Afaf, I don't know if we can hear you right now.
Mr.
Yes.
Okay, so since we're doing the live lesson today, do you have to do day 5?
Did you do day 4 last time?
Yes.
Yes, then you have to do day 5. That's another thing I want to bring up for you guys. So that's a great question as well. These online sessions are not so much for me to teach a lesson. I've already recorded every single lesson that you guys are going to have to do. So you are not required to show up on these live sessions. I'm already going to take your attendance, and it's not based on you being here at these live sessions. I think Mr. John is saying no. He's saying, Mr. Carpenter, you're stupid. That's what he's saying. So let me unmute him. Okay, Mr.
No,
John?
they have to. One of the requirements is they have to be here for these sessions. Every teacher is going to be doing a live session. Is requirement for both the teacher and the student to participate in every live session that goes. So it's not an optional thing. While this might be a tutoring session and a little bit more individual help, by answering one person's question, we'll probably be answering a lot of people's questions.
Okay, well, so now I'm going to mute Mr. John so he doesn't say I'm stupid anymore. So he's muted. He can't speak anymore. So I guess if that is the case and you guys are required to be here to answer Afaf's question, Afaf, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, to answer that question then, we will say that day 5 is not due today. So due day 5 tomorrow. That kind of throws off the whole calendar. But like I said, this whole first week, you kind of have to expect things are going to go bad like this. So then you do have to be here, and I do need to take attendance. Mr. John, do you think you could focus on taking attendance for this class based on the names here? Which means you guys need to sign in with your names, which it looks like every person did for the most part. So that means day 4, you guys have done. Day 5, you will do next time you have class. Okay, are there any other questions? No other questions. Okay, so what I figured I would do with this time is each time we meet as a class like this, you can ask me any questions from any day, right, that you have covered that week or any time previous. I have all the documents right here, and I will share myself working through that problem. So are there any questions from day 4 homework so far? Anything that you guys thought was difficult that I can help you out with? And I'm looking for a hand being raised. And again, if you don't know how to raise your hand, you need to take your cursor and go to the bottom of your the screen, and it'll say participants there. And if you click participants, on the right side of your screen, there'll be an option to either raise your hand or lower your hand. So if you raise your hand, then I can unmute you. Yay! Ali. What's your question, sir? Ali? Hi, do you have a question about the homework?
Mister,
Yes.
about what?
Do you have homework? Do you have questions about day 4 classwork or homework or something I said on the video or anything?
No.
No questions. Okay.
No.
All right. Here's somebody who has a question. So Ayan, give me a second. All right, Ayan, you have a question?
Yeah, I must have a question about question 8 for the day 4 classwork.
Day 4 classwork. Okay, let me see if I can find this. Day 4 classwork. So check this out, guys. This is pretty cool. I actually really like this. Let's see if I can get it to work again. Okay, so day 4 classwork. Does this look like day 4 classwork to you?
No, that's day 3. It says on day 3.
It does say day 3. Here's day 4. This is day 4 classwork. So your question is about this right here?
Yeah.
Okay, what is your question?
I don't understand how to do it.
Okay, so it says to find the perimeter of the parallelogram. All right, so the perimeter means the distance around something. Okay, so let's see if I can figure this out a little bit. Good. Okay, so what it's asking is, what is the distance around this object? The whole way around it, okay? Now, there's some easier sections to it, right? I mean, like anything that's straight, you can just count. So this part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 long, right? So that's 9 long. The other side is also 9 long. So you have 9 on this side, and you have 9 on that side. But we need to find, and sorry guys, this is just going to be messy. Honestly, I don't know how to work on an iPad very cleanly, but hopefully if you're following along, it'll make sense. What we need to find is the length of this side. And the length of that side will actually be the same as this side's length as well, okay? Now, to do that, you need to make a right triangle, and that's how it it works with today's lesson. Today's lesson is using right triangles or the Pythagorean theorem to figure out that additional side, right? So here's my right triangle. So Aeon, does this make sense so far?
Yeah.
So there's my right triangle. And you can see that my right triangle's side lengths, right? If I zoom in here, this has a length of 3, and this has a length of 4. So using a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can figure out the red missing side length, right? And that's our hypotenuse. So let me kind of zoom out, move over here a little bit. Let's see if I can. So again, remember this is 3, 4, and so I'll just draw it here. We have a triangle that looks like this, 3, 4. So we're trying to actually find, oops, I hope this works. Well, for some reason I can't draw anymore. Oh, what is this? Stop, sorry guys. Oh, did I just stop everybody from being able to see? Stop share. Let me try this one more time. I don't know why that happened. I hope that doesn't happen again. So like I said, learning process. Oh no. Well, I think most people know where this is going now, but there we go, finally. 3, 4, and then so to find that other length, we have a squared, so 3 squared, plus b squared equals, oh boy, c, wow. You can see I'm really struggling here. C squared. So 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. I'm finding that I have to write really slow on this thing or it's not picking up my finger. Equals c squared. So 9 plus 16, that's going to be 25. Equals c squared. So I should be able to take the square root of 25. So I end up finding that c. Whoa, this is so bad. C is 5. Guys, if you have any helpful suggestions about how to fix this, send me an email telling me you should do this, Mr. Carpenter, instead of what I'm doing right now. So pretty much what I have is a stylus. And I don't know, I'll probably get used to it eventually. So anyway, what I've just found though, using the Pythagorean theorem, is that this red side right here, this longer side, that has a length of 5. So if that has a length of 5, then you can scroll down here, you know that this has a length of 5. So the distance all the way around is going to be 5 plus 5 plus 9 plus 9, and that'll be 28 units. Ryan, I hope that answered your question. I don't know, did that help? I don't know if you can hear me. Let me stop this. And, oh, Aeon, you're on mute. Aeon, did that help?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? So Aeon's hand is still up. I'm going to lower that. Let's see if there's anything else. If there is nothing else, then I can actually start kind of teaching you guys a little bit of tomorrow. So you're not sitting around waiting for me to do nothing. So I'll go ahead and do that. Are there any other questions before I move to that? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to do that then. I'm really struggling with this iPad actually right now. Okay. Let's see, hold on. So Faisal says I should buy an Apple Pen for the iPad. Oh, Afaf. Okay, let me unmute you. Afaf, you have a question? What's your question?
So on the assessment,
Yeah.
Do we have to write units after the number, like we answer?
On an actual like formative or summative assessment, I'm going to tell you exactly what I want you to do. Like I'll say, write the units or round it to the nearest tenth or something like that. So I'll be a lot more specific. Right now, with the homework and attendance checks, that's me just making sure you guys are doing it. And so on an actual assessment, I'll be a lot more specific.
And also, do we have to do the square roots, like solve them?
Yes, you do need to solve the square roots. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and go on to day 5, or try to go on to day 5. I'm actually still really struggling with this pen a bit, but I'm going to flip over here to, and Mr. John, I'm going to unmute you actually. And what that's going to allow me to do is if somebody raises their hand or even if I am not explaining something very well, you can butt in.
Okay.
So you are unmuted now.
That.
So let's see here. Screen share. I'm going to go over to my iPad. So guys, what I'm really struggling with right now though is I'm not able to write smoothly on this iPad with this stylus at all. Oh man.
By the way, whoever's logged in as user, you're not marked in as present for class. Since you didn't sign up as your name, I don't know who you are. So you've been marked absent. Make sure that you guys, when you're signing into your live, whatever live class your teachers are using, to use your own real name. Sign in with your Google email so that happens.
Okay, so pretty much just very briefly, what we're doing here is we're just looking for, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, but you're going to imagine it in 3-dimensional objects. Mr. John, is that taking up like the entire screen right now for you?
For my screen, I have a sidebar of images of other people, and so it's taking up a portion of the screen. I don't know if everybody's looks the same or not.
Okay, so I think that should be fine. So anyway, so if you look at, let's just look at this example here. Okay, so it's a box, but you're trying to visualize and this is going to be very difficult to draw with this, I think, but I'm going to try my best. You're trying to visualize the right triangle on this box, okay? So this is going to be tomorrow's lesson. Let me go ahead and scroll down a bit. So that right triangle.
Shrink it slightly.
I'm sorry, I'll shrink it slightly.
Shrink the image slightly. It's too zoomed in. There, that's perfect.
Okay, so as you can see though, this is actually going from one far corner to a closer corner, right? So it's running diagonal. So your right triangle that you're going to be trying to figure out, see how it's squiggly is, I don't know, it's actually really struggling for me. But you're trying to figure out a diagonal across this, this 3-dimensional object. So the right triangle you're trying to figure out is, that's the hypotenuse. And then from this corner, so here's my 3 corners of the triangle. You're going to be going here and then straight up this side as well. So there is your right triangle that you're actually trying to figure out. So to do that, we have our 13-foot height there, or 13-inch height. And let's see, so we need to figure out What does this say? Hold on a second. Let me zoom out. Oh,
Actually, I think you want to do the 6 by 13 inch first.
yeah. I couldn't see the 13 on the bottom. So pretty much, you need to figure out what this, I'm going to put it in blue. You need to figure out this base here. And to
And
actually,
this is something you guys,
go ahead, Mr. John.
and finding Pythagorean theorem, that's not new to you guys. The only thing that's different is it's now a three-dimensional shape. So first thing you got to do is just, if we give you a box, it's kind of like finding out a TV screen. So how do you find that? It's just using the 6 and the 13.
Yep. So if you look here, here's another right triangle. So you need to use the Pythagorean theorem twice. That's essentially what you're doing. So there's this right triangle on the ground here. So you're going to have 13 squared. Oof. Plus 6 squared. 13 squared plus 6 squared. And that's going to actually equal this, and I'll highlight it this time. That's going to equal the hypotenuse right here. So 13 squared plus 6 squared is going to equal that hypotenuse squared. Okay, so 13 squared, that should be 169. Man, how ugly is that writing, Mr. John?
Yeah, it's worse than my handwriting.
It's not a handwriting thing. It's I don't know. The stylus is really difficult.
Stylus, yeah.
I wonder if it has something to do with proximity to a computer. So maybe it's messing up a signal or something.
Maybe, but I doubt it. Do you have the right stylus for the device?
This is actually working a little bit better. I've stepped back a bit.
Okay, yeah.
So 169 plus, well, let's see, 169 plus 6 squared, that's going to be 36. Oh, man. Yeah,
Maybe you need to go to school, steal the doc cam.
something. 36. I do not understand, actually.
Or go low tech.
Let me just try to use my finger. Yeah, dry erase board might be the better way too.
And just show it up to the camera.
All right, we'll try to use my finger. Let me zoom in. Okay, so 13 squared is 169. Plus,
So much better.
right now, but the problem is I have to zoom in and zoom out a lot. But it's still good. Much better. Okay, so we're at 169 plus 36 equals c squared. 169 plus 36, that's going to be 205, I believe. If I'm doing math incorrectly, I apologize. Equals c squared. Then I need to take the square root of each side, and I have no idea what that is off the top of my head.
Yeah, pull up my calculator.
Do
It's
it.
what, 205 square root?
Yeah, square root of 205.
Hold on a second. Just get one of your calculators. Just someone on there's got, it's 14.3.
14.3. Okay, so 14.3, and it should be ish, right? We should have decimals that go on forever. So we just found out that this highlighted part right here, this base, is 14.3. Okay, so now our new triangle that we can figure out now, the distance across this thing,
Advertisement.
yeah, is going to be,
Bro, pay money. Come on.
I wonder, here we go. So now we can figure out this. Okay, so that's going to be so again, there's my new right triangle, and it's 14.3 on this base. It's 13 on the height, and then we're going to find the hypotenuse. So 14.3, 13, and the hypotenuse. Let me come down here a little bit and work in this space.
So we have to find the hypotenuse once, we got to find the hypotenuse twice, and that gives us the answer.
Yep, 14.3, so I'll just write this out over here. So 13 squared plus 14.3 squared is c squared. Okay, let me zoom in a bit. So, Mr. John, what is 14.3 squared?
Oh, get my calculator open. Give me 1 second.
Sure. So he's looking for 14.3 squared. That's going to go on that line. Then equals c squared.
$204.49.
And then do that plus 169.
$373.49.
Okay, and then do the square root. So now we're going to do the square root of each side. And we're going to get c is
19.3.
19.3. And again, that answer is really an estimate. It's an ish, right? Because it should have decimals that go on forever. So the distance across, let me see if I can erase this whole box. 19.3 is what we got. So just to get rid of all of this nasty writing, the distance, ultimately, what we just solved for is the distance all the way across this thing from this back corner right here to this front corner right here is 19.3. And we had to do that by finding two triangles. One was this triangle. And once we found that triangle, we had all both pieces that we needed to find this triangle. So we had to use the Pythagorean theorem twice. Guys, I know that I need to work on making this clear. So are there any questions, though? It might be helpful if I could hear some questions from you guys so that I can answer more specifically. So does anybody have a question?
Let's see.
Yay!
Miriam, Vinay both had questions.
Yeah, I actually see. This is kind of cool. Okay, I can see hands go up, kind of. So let me unmute Miriam. All right, so Miriam?
So the more triangles in the square is how many times we should use the theorem?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's one way of looking at it simply, but that's not always the case because you can make many, many triangles on this square, right? But however many triangles it takes you to get to, so pretty much, let me explain it this way. Here's a triangle.
Quick question, Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Are all these shapes going to be cubes
Not
or boxes?
these here.
No. Okay.
Yeah. But it's still the same concept. Still the same concept. So.
Because if it's a cube, Miriam, you only have to do it twice.
Yeah. So so here's the idea anyway. Pretty much, if you look at, say, this cube to the left, the triangle that you're actually looking for goes from here to here, here to here, and over here. Here's the triangle that you're looking for, okay? But the thing is, right now, what you have on that triangle are two missing pieces. You don't know the length of this bottom part, and you also don't know the length of, say, this top part right here. So what you have is you have this, the height is 7, but you don't know what this is. That's supposed to be a question mark. You don't know what this is, and you also don't know what that is. So you need at least two pieces of information, right, to use the Pythagorean theorem. You need either the A, you need the A and the B, so you can get the C, right? You could even be given the C and the B, so you can find the A, but you need two of them. So your goal on this question right here is to get two pieces of information. So really what you're looking for is to get this question mark. So to get that question mark, let me highlight the triangle that you'll need to use. See how this one has 4, 3, and then you're looking for the question mark? So that's the triangle you're gonna use in order to even get this question mark. So that's why you're gonna have to use it twice. Okay? Okay. I see you shaking your head. But you know,
You're unmuted, Miriam, if you want to speak.
Yeah.
So do you only use the what's it called, the triangles? Like if you spot like two of them, that means you only use the thing twice?
Yeah, if you need to use two of them in order to get the information that you need. For example, on this one, the information we needed was the question mark, right? We needed that information in order to figure out what what this y was. We need this information to figure out what the y is, right? So however many triangles you need to use in order to get to that question mark and figure that out, that's how many times you're going to end up doing the Pythagorean theorem, which is probably only going to be 2. Okay? Okay. Somebody else had their hand raised as well. Anybody else have another question?
Vinny was the other one with his hand raised.
Vinay, do you still have your question? Let me kind of scroll through this. Yep. Somebody. I don't know if this is Vinay. Yep, this is Vinay. Hey, Vinay.
Yeah, so this is not a question, but Sebastian says he's trying to get in, and he sent you an email.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Can you? Well, sure. I guess just tell Sebastian I'll have to get with him after class.
Have Sebastian email me, because I have a second computer. I can check my email at the same time.
So are there any other hands up, Mr. John? Do you see any other hands up?
No, there wasn't any other hand up.
Okay.
So people have questions about what's been explained for day 5, which you guys will start tomorrow. Is that correct, Mr. Carpenter?
Yeah, and the thing is, the day 5 video is not me doing it on this iPad. It's actually me at the front of the board, so it's a lot more smooth, and you'll be able to understand it a lot better. I have a question for you guys, just for trying to make this a little bit more smooth. Have all of your teachers struggled this much with using like a live chat session? I'm just wondering. So you can raise it. Yay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Since you're doing day 5 tomorrow, if this will count as our attendance, do we still have to do the Google form?
Yeah, you need to do the Google form tomorrow when day 5 is due. So yes, the Google form is how I'm taking your attendance. So you have to do the Google form if you want to be present for that class.
For today's attendance, we did it based on who was actually signed in on here. So if you're
Right.
here, you got your attendance counted.
Right. Any other questions, guys?
Afath's got a question.
Okay, let me see if I can scroll through this thing and find the FAF. I can't, so I'm gonna have to stop the share, and I can find it a lot easier this way. Okay, FAF. Got you covered.
Mr. Can you do question number 5 and 7 because it's confusing?
5 and 7 from day 4.
Day 5.
5 and 7 from day 5. You're already starting day 5? Sure, I can do that. Nobody else has a question, and we got some time, so let me go ahead and do that. I need to share this again. Sorry, guys, that this is not smooth. But honestly, I don't really know at the moment how to make it smooth. I'll figure it out eventually. Okay. Okay, so here's day 5. So Afaf, you're asking from this paper, yes?
Yes.
Good. Okay, that's easy then. So let me go ahead and do that. Oh yeah. Okay. Whew. So,
Not a good sign.
well, it's so intricate on here. Like it was hard enough to work with a box, much less a pyramid. So, yes,
okay.
I can definitely do it. So let me go ahead and try. So here we go. The base of the pyramid is a square. Okay, so that's important. So it's a square. So Afaf, real quick, what does a square have? Tell me about its sides. Afaf, what are the side lengths of this square?
You muted her,
No.
so she's going to answer you.
Answer me. No.
Herself.
Let me find. Where are you at? Here you are.
And one thing we might want to find is if there's like a shared supervisor, so I can unmute people or stuff too.
Man, that'd be nice. You technically could host the meetings, and you can turn me on and off mute. That would work. But okay, Afaf, you can speak now, I think.
So there are 4 sides.
There are 4 sides, and what do you know about the length of the sides of a square? Are they all different?
No, they're the same size.
They're all the same size. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. So it says right here, the square has side lengths that are 30 inches, right? So all of the side lengths of that square on the bottom, they're all 30 inches. And then it says the height of the pyramid is 50 inches. Find the slant height. So that's another important piece of information. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to, unfortunately, zoom in away from that information and fill out what we just read. So hopefully you guys can remember what we just read. We read that this side is 30 and this side is 30. And actually all the sides are 30 because it's a square, right? And we also read that the height, right? So let me explain 2 things. Here's the height. This is the slant height. So what's in green is what we're actually looking for. That's going to be the answer that we're actually trying to find. What's in yellow is the information that they gave us. So Afaf, can you read real quick? What did they tell you about the height of the pyramid? Do you remember?
She's on mute again.
No way. Okay. There you go.
Can you zoom out?
I can zoom out.
Okay, so what was the question again?
So what's the height of the pyramid?
50 inches.
Yeah, 50. So again, the green one is slant height. The regular height is the one that goes vertical. So this is 50. So what you actually have, again, using the Pythagorean theorem, is you have, let's see if I can get a different color. You have a right triangle. You have from here to here. You have from here straight up, right? And what you're looking for is this blue part. That's what the question is asking. What is the slant height, right? So what is the length from here to here? What is that length? Do you have any guesses? I hope you're not muted. You are muted.
She's muted.
I'm sorry. All right. Do you have any guesses, Afaf? What is this length?
20.
20? Where are you getting that from?
I don't know.
Just kind of a guess, because it's close to 30. It's less than 30, obviously, right? But remember, this is just going to the middle of the square, right? So that should be half of 30. So this bottom part right here should be half of 30. So what is that length? Yeah, so that's going to be 15. Okay, so this is 15. And we already know the height. We know the height. The height is 50. So we have a right triangle here where 15 squared plus 50 squared, whoops, this is bad writing again, but I'm trying my best, equals c squared. Does that make sense so far, Afaf?
Mute.
Oh no.
I think she might be muting herself, and then you have to unmute.
Are you muting yourself, Afaf?
No.
Okay, so that's my problem. So I got to figure that out. So does this make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, can you solve it from here, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're going to be done with that one. Let's go ahead and look at number 7. I'm sure 7 is actually very similar, but it doesn't hurt to see it twice. And Mr. John, can you remind me when the time is up here?
Yeah, I was keeping track because I think we're till 11:05, right?
Yeah, we're getting close. Okay, so 7. Here's number 7. I'll go ahead and read this together with you guys. So it says, a window washer is repelling and cleaning the windows of a hotel shaped like a square pyramid shown. Okay. The height of the pyramid, so this is important information, right? So it's telling us the height of the pyramid is 200 feet. So we know that that vertical dotted line right here, that's 200. If the window washer travels to the top of the pyramid and back down along the straight path X, so you can see this little X right here, right? So it's saying he travels to the top, just so he's going up this like it's an elevator, up the elevator shaft, and then he goes down this path X. How many total feet has he traveled? Okay, so first of all, Afaf, do you understand the question that it's asking you?
Yes.
Okay, so let me go ahead and answer this now then. So he travels up 200 feet. So let me erase. So we know that this is, so now we're just really, this is all that matters. He's going up 200 feet, right? Now this is the same concept we just covered a second ago. So what is the length of this bottom part right here? What do you think? Oh no, you're on mute. Oh, you don't know.
I think it's 100.
How do you get 100?
Look at the 300 feet.
It's half.
Yeah, you see the 300 right here?
Yeah.
So good job using half, though.
So all of,
Great idea.
yeah, all of the distance across is 300. So this is how much?
150.
It's 150. That's exactly right. Okay, so that's 150. So here's your triangle. Do you know how to set it up from here, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll set it up, but you guys can solve it. So it's going to be pretty much 150 squared plus 200 squared equals c squared or x squared, right? I don't know if I can actually, I can kind of go over. That would be the setup. And then you need to solve for x. And when you have x, to actually answer your question, you would need to be able to add x and 200. Because the question is, how far did he travel? And remember, he first traveled up. He first traveled up here, and then he traveled down the diagonal. So I hope that was helpful. Hey, it's not muted anymore.
Yeah, it hasn't been.
Okay. Well, any other questions, guys? I asked a question earlier. I'm curious for myself. This is going to be helpful to me. Have all your teachers been struggling this much with the online classes, or is it just me trying to use this iPad, or what is it exactly? So I'm looking for a hand if anybody has anything to say to that.
Let's hear some feedback.
Yeah, I'm just looking for some feedback.
You know, you're gonna find some who look at on YouTube and Google and stuff like that, you know?
I think I just unmuted everybody. Yeah, any helpful feedback, guys? That really would be helpful to me to know. So I don't see anybody. Has the structure of the class online been helpful to you guys? Like how, like for example, I've tried to keep it the exact same as it has been. So has that been pretty straightforward? Yep, I see one. So Sarah?
I think it's okay, but it's just kind of confusing when we're having a actual class online or when we're having a live stream on YouTube. That's the only thing that confused me.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I was not planning on live streaming being mandatory. I was thinking it was going to be more like tutoring, so that not all 30 of you had to sit there and listen to me answer questions. So that's been a problem. But outside of that, it's pretty much, if you did day 4 yesterday, then the next class you're going to be doing day 5 and day 6 and so on, right? And then I guess now, anytime there's a live chat, instead of having class online that day, you're just going to have a live chat where you guys are going to bring questions. Does that make sense? So like, for example, today, or you've already done day 4. Today was supposed to be day 5, but instead you guys had a live chat. That means next class, that'll be day 5.
But all of them will be on this format. All of them will be Zoom, not on YouTube, correct?
Yes, yes. And I'll send you an email just like before. Sorry. Does that make sense, Sarah?
Yeah, that
Okay.
helps. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
And I think something that would help is if we send that email out first thing in the morning so they know to be ready for it at that time.
I was going to do that, but I just don't know how to do multiple Zoom meetings at once. So if I send it early out in the morning, I'd have to do it for all my classes.
Oh, I see. Well, you can send them a warning email is what I was thinking. Just, hey, remember today to look for your email at, 10:05, 10:10.
Yeah.
And for the Zoom notes, just so that they're prepped for a live class, because I know everyone's getting used to this format.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you do have any helpful suggestions, please do email me, because that would be great. I would love some feedback on how it went for you guys. I think class is over now, right?
We still got about 3 or 4 minutes.
Well,
one quick
go ahead.
feedback. Guys, if you have any questions or problems, if you're struggling with math, please let us know. Email. If email is a hard way to get the message across, we can do a one-on-one conference such as this to help you. But the whole idea is, since we're not in contact with you, except for the 1 hour a week, we want to hear from you if you're struggling. So make sure you reach out to either one of us. I definitely have a lot more open time than Mr. Carpenter, since he's dealing with all the students.
I'm far more busy. So if you want a quick answer, email Mr. John.
That's pretty much true.
So also another question, guys, not another question. This is actually for Elizabetta and anybody else. I'm wondering, can everybody raise their hand, right? So here's how you raise your hand. So you go to the screen, right? At the bottom, it says participants. Click on that button. Click on participants. And then once you click on it, it's going to open up a view of everybody who's participating on the right side, I believe. And you can do raise hand or lower hand. So Elizabetta, try to click raise hand. Here's how class is going to end. Everybody try to raise their hand. And then I'll figure out who doesn't know how to raise their hand. Yay, look at all these people raising their hands. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Real quick, Faisal had his hand raised before you prompted that, so he might actually have a question.
I don't care about Faisal. Just kidding.
I know, but I have to say we have to help everybody.
So hold on. Right now, according to this, who I know doesn't know how to raise their hand is, let me write these down.
I know Ian knows how to because he's done it before.
Adam?
And it could be that some of the people know how to raise hand. They just checked out, and so they're getting coffee, bathroom break, and basically are away from their screen.
Okay. Okay. Faisal, I'm going to unmute you real quick, but we really have to go pretty soon. All right. What's your question?
I have a question.
No question. He just wants to talk. Say hi to everybody.
We don't care about Faisal.
All right. Shut him off. Shut him down. You just got shut down, sir. Okay, guys. Hopefully things will get a little bit better, but I'm not sure how soon we're going to be coming back to school. So I know the online videos are decent. Make sure you're asking questions. Make sure you're researching stuff on YouTube. Doing all the classwork and all the homework is not necessary. Doing the homework is necessary. Check your answers with the solutions that are posted at the bottom of the unit so that you know whether you understand what you're doing or not. Okay, with that being said, I am releasing you guys from class 1 minute early. Goodbye.
Enjoy lunch.
Mr. John. Oh. Hey, John, I'm trying to make the F block thing right now.
Are we doing it back to back? Because that block technically doesn't start for about 45 minutes.
Oh, does it not? Okay, good.
Yeah, remember, this is lunch. That's why I was making the joke of enjoy lunch.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
Yeah, if we're following the locked in time, we still have time. That's why I figured I could call between.
Man, that was chaotic.
It's not bad as you think it was, and I'm assuming that was your first live session.
Yeah, that was definitely my first. But I don't know, what's the point of live sessions then? Because I've recorded all my stuff. So like my whole plan, that just shifts everything. My whole plan was that they would use that time to ask me questions.
Yeah, and they could. What I would do is I would come in prepared for a live session with what were the super difficult problems that you know would confuse people.
Yeah.
And work through them. And so because expect them to be a little bit nervous, so even if they have questions, they're not going to ask unless they can ask one-on-one, and maybe not at all. So what I would do is, maybe you can even do this in this time, is pick out for each day. Let me see if there's questions first. Okay, if no questions, let me go over a couple problems that I think would give you guys some confusions, just so you can see how it's done.
Yeah.
That way, you are doing it as a tutoring session. You open up for their questions, knowing they won't say anything, and you're using the time wisely to review. And yeah, it does push all your things off for a day. But the reason why it's so important that students have to be on is, in all honesty, this is making sure both teachers and students are doing their jobs. Because I already know there are teachers who aren't.
Oh my gosh, man. That was just like, come on, what's the point of a stylus? That thing was so bad, and it's such a good stylus.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, your finger was so much better.
That stylus was terrible, man.
Was it the stylus designed for the iPad?
No, I don't think so.
That's why the stylus has to be like Apple's proprietary. So you have to buy one. It has to have stylus software, and two, it has to be an Apple super expensive stylus.
Man, well, where do I get one from, or do I have to buy one?
Yes, but how new is your tablet?
I mean, it's the one that they gave us at gym, so it's a small, like iPad Mini.
The Mini. I don't even know if they have. I'd have to look up the tech specs on that one because I didn't bring it home with me, and see if it even has stylus support. But yeah, you would have to get the Apple stylus. Just when I was looking for buying a new tablet, I talked about stylus with a few of them, and each one has a locked-in stylus that only works for their device.
Yeah, that was awful. That was an awful experience.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, if I'm going to be working from the iPad, I need a bigger iPad, not a mini.
Yeah.
But I mean, once I started doing it with my finger, it was okay. It was tolerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I think your frustrations with things were and feeling chaotic was just it not being the way you wanted, but also it went fairly well. I think the next one as an F, and the next time we see E Block will go a lot smoother. I thought it actually went fairly good, especially for your first run through. And it felt like as close to a genuine class experience as I think you can get. So I think a lot of people are also just doing like everybody get on a Google Docs. They're not actually doing the conversational stream.
yeah, that was actually cool. I really did like how Zoom has the hand raising thing, and when kids get used to that, it'll be great.
Yeah.
So if kids can come prepared and they just say, "Hey, day 5, question 2,"
Yep.
day 5
Yep.
homework, question 4, whatever it is, like, and then it'll just go quick, where I can probably work through 10 questions in a sitting. That'd be awesome.
Yep. And if they don't have like 4 or 5 problems that you're like, I think these would be tough. So let me work through them. So you guys can see how I mathematically would think these through.
Yeah.
And so I think that will work well. It's a great kind of summary. So this is the summary. You still have to have the work done, but we're now explaining things if you didn't understand it so that you have no excuse. And so, yeah, what you're going to have to do is for our 4-day work week, 2 days of work and, 1 day of review.
Yeah.
It's actually, that's not too bad.
No, it works well. It's